Did you know that Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, Sir Isaac Newton believed in and used metaphysical principles in their everyday life and in their work? Did you know that belief really does shape your universe in every single way? Did you know that you have the ability to change what you believe at any given moment in your entire life? And once you change your belief, you ultimately change your world. Welcome to Intro to Metaphysics, Class 2, The Power of Belief or Understanding Belief. Grab your notebooks because whatever we write, we read or see, we hear, we say, we also learn. I am your professor, Dr. Kim Chi, and we're going to get started. Belief is the foundation of metaphysical principles. I'm going to say that again. Belief is the foundation of metaphysical principles. If you take a look at a tree here, the foundation would be its roots. You cannot build a tree or any of this stuff without the roots. Belief is the roots. So belief is the foundation of all metaphysical principles. And belief shapes your reality. So today, we are going to explore how beliefs are formed, why they're so powerful, how to program and reprogram your limiting beliefs, and of course, I'll give you guys some homework. Some people believe that belief starts before you're even born. Science proves that it starts at the very least in childhood. A quick example, let's just say you grew up in a household where money was really scarce. You would hear your parents say something like, money don't grow on trees, we ain't got money for that, we got McDonald's at home, stuff like that. You may grow up believing that abundance or the things that you need are scarce and you have to work really hard for them. A long time ago, people didn't think that you can go really fast. They thought that cars, or at this time it was trains, if the train went more than 60 miles an hour or 80 miles an hour, something like that, that our brains would explode. So the thought of a train going that fast was unfathomable to them. There's a story, you guys can YouTube this story. There's a story of a man who broke the 4-minute mile. Essentially, what he did was he ran a mile in less than 4 minutes. Prior to him running the mile, nobody had ever done it. Since he has broken the 4-minute mile, people have done it countless times. His belief system allowed him to do it one time, and then he showed people that it was possible, so it was done repeatedly. So definition time. Belief is a thought or idea that you accept as truth. It doesn't have to actually be true. You just accept it as truth. Beliefs don't need proof. Belief is like a filter that shapes how you see the world, how you see yourself, and how you see and interact with others. Whether you're aware of it or not, beliefs shape everything that you see, hear, smell, taste, feel. Beliefs influence your feelings, your actions, your decisions, your mind. Well, let's take a pause here. Most of the time we think our mind as being this part of us up here in our brain, and while it can exist there, it doesn't really exist there. Also, it's a realm that we tap into, right? So your mind, which is not solely in your head, is like a lens, and what you believe acts as the filter to that lens. So let's take a second to talk about how belief is actually formed. Let's take a second to discuss neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to rewire itself by forming new neural pathways in response to our thoughts, experiences, practices, etc. Think of a hiking trail, right? Think that you've been going on this hiking trail for years and years and years and years. And even if you skip the hiking trail for a couple months, you might come back and the grass is all grown over, but the trail is still exists. Those are the pathways that are in our brain. Once they've been created, they're always there. We can always travel on them. And in our brain, we have these things called neurons. They actually look like little walking men or whatever in our brain, like little stick figure men. And they travel on these pathways, right? And they keep traveling on these pathways of belief as long as we want them to. The good thing about being a superhuman is that you don't have to keep walking on the same pathway. Just like on a hiking trail, you can take a different path. And as soon as you take a different path, that trail has been created. As soon as you take a different path, a new neural pathway has been created in your brain. Just like in the physical world, though, we like to stick to what's familiar. Our neurons like to stick to the paths that are familiar to them. So what that means is, even though we can create a new path, and we've created several, we won't walk on them if we don't want to. This is important as repetition or consistency shows up in the practice of metaphysical principles. The more we walk on a pathway, the more we walk on a hiking trail, the deeper those roots kind of grow, and the more our neurons will want to walk on it. So think that neuroplasticity just supports the idea that we can transform our lives through focused intention and repetition. Quantum observation, which is rooted in quantum physics, which is something that we're not going to dive too deep in, but I'm going to give you a few little tidbits about. So quantum observation is the belief, or is the understanding, that what we observe influences our reality. Those that are really interested in quantum mechanics and quantum physics, that's another class that I'm probably qualified enough to teach the intro level to, but not much past that. There's a lot of stuff in there that's really deep, and though I have a pretty good grasp of it, I don't know that I could teach it past the intro level class. Anyway, all you need to know for this class is that quantum mechanics or quantum observation really shapes how we see the world, which is also based on our beliefs. So in metaphysics, beliefs are central. It's foundation. It's the roots of the tree for how we see and interact with those unseen forces that shape our reality. They bridge the gap between thought, energy, and experience. So even though we're going to have a whole class on this, let's talk a little like an introduction about energy. Every single thing is energy. Even though it looks and feels like a solid thing, it's all particles, it's all energy, it's all vibration, it's all frequency. We will get into that in the next class. But for now, just know that everything is energy. And because everything is energy, including our thoughts, including our belief systems, then it's all a part of the things that we both see and don't see. And our beliefs, they vibrate at specific frequencies, which we will talk about which beliefs vibrate at which frequencies in our next class. And each frequency vibrates with a specific realm in the series of realms. And each realm is responsible for attracting certain things into our lives. Our beliefs set things in motion, from the most abstract spiritual realm or the highest realm, all the way down to the physical nature of what we think. This is why we say thoughts become things, right? Because it starts in this really abstract almost space, even though that space is reality. Belief is the engine behind certain universal laws, like the law of attraction, which we will talk about. But for now, just know that the law of attraction just simply means like attracts like. This is why I mentioned some of those geniuses in the beginning, because they studied this in depth. We got to go to a part 2. See y'all in a minute.